But I think Lindor is really the leader of this offense and everything in the regards of he's a veteran. He's been to a World Series. More than that, he knows what it's like to lose a World Series. All he wants in every single interview he says, I want a ring. And I think that mentality, to hear that come from the guy who's making the most on the team outside of Scherzer, must be great in the locker room where you hear a guy who's like, look, I could just throw it in. I don't have to do this play because guess what? I got my bag. And more than that, I got it for the next decade. But to hear him then go like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the single win. I care about the one win that we get at the end of this. I think it's a great example just by setting the tone for what the young guys need to do, what the focus is. For Lindor, it never seems like he's worried about anything else but this. And having him there for that, I think, is why we are the way we are, along with Buck. How many times have you seen a shot of him and Buck just talking shop in the dugout? Because they're the leaders, or Scherzer and Buck. It's the same kind of principle with either player. Yeah. And I just think Lindor has been such a catalyst for not only where this organization is now, but where it was when he got traded. It was the first real shot across the bow of, we're not going to be the Mets anymore, the same old Mets. We're going to be different now.
Yeah, since he's been here, it's felt different. And when Cohen bought the team, obviously it felt different because new ownership, but we needed that move, and that move was Lindor and Carrasco, but Carrasco against good teams, obviously, no. But Lindor, that trade was well worth it. That contract was well worth it. He's had such a bounce back year. I don't want to say everybody was writing him off. I know a lot of Mets fans didn't write him off just because he's a 10-year contract. We got 10 years. He's going to figure it out. And, he was coming from Cleveland, small city, and going to New York, a big adjustment. So I'm not too surprised at his first year. We see it a lot. A lot of people, a lot of stars first year, they come over here and they struggle a little bit. But now that he's comfortable and he's in his groove now in New York, he's got that New York groove, I guess you could say.
Oh, and, yeah. Way to put that in there.
And Lindor is he's been everything that the Mets could ask for. Well worth the contract. Batting .271 this year, so it's not like last year when his batting average was like in the 210s. And he's hitting home runs, 25 home runs, RBIs still there. Him and Pete, as we mentioned before. So and as you mentioned too, Jared, the leadership that he brings too in the locker room, and like Josh said, always talking with Buck. Buck, and Scherzer really, I feel like, are the glue of this team, where Scherzer keeps like the pitchers involved, and Lindor really keeps not just the lineup, but the infield. Like, his effect on Guillorme and, like, little things like that. Like, I feel like he's had an effect on Guillorme. Just playing the middle infield together, and Guillorme having the year he's had. It's just little things like that.
Well, it's also that, Babe Ruth died and then became Luis Guillorme, but...
True.
Anyway, so
it's a great point. I hadn't considered, honestly.
I mean, it's you normally don't